What's up, guys? Welcome back. So pretty much, guys, as you guys just finished seeing, I didn't quite capture the whole postman coming in, but they delivered some packages aside from what already arrived. I was supposed to do the unboxing that one video when we were fixing the window switch on the Domani, but unfortunately I felt like it was just going to drag out the video. So we did get a box in that I was really waiting for, but I figured let me go ahead and clean my garage, get things a little bit situated, so I thought we can get back on track with the EK sedan. So as you guys finished seeing, we did get a box back there, but we did receive some other packages that I felt like, I'll show you guys now. So unfortunately, this box, I was going to unbox it, but it was already damaged, so I just took it out. We got a new alternator for the all-wheel drive EK sedan, along with plenty of piping from Ace Race. I got a bunch of 15 degree in stainless steel, a lot of aluminum pieces in 15 degree, along with V-band clamps, because I'm going to be redoing everything in the turbo setup as far as the cold side. I also ended up picking up a return line, or return side for the timing chain cover that goes there, along with the intake temp adapter that I need to weld on to that. Once we pretty much get to doing the intercooler piping, I still need to put on the blow-off valve on it, so that way it's located in there also. I also got some 3-inch piping, stainless steel, so that we can complete the bottom at least of the downpipe, and pretty much got a few other 2.5-inch intercooler piping. So we got some stuff that we really needed, along with V-band clamps, that we thought that we can get started on doing the intercooler setup. I was waiting for the package that showed up. I'm still waiting for one more package to arrive so that we can actually get started on the intercooler piping. So let me go ahead and show you what else we got. Well, guys, this is what I was waiting for. This is the helmet from Mr. Furyk. It's a dope helmet. I seen that it was promoted for cheaper than what you see a lot of other welding helmets for. Yeah, I could have went with a cheaper one like how I have right here, but I felt like this was a good quality and it would last me, and I'm pretty sure he would give a warranty with it and everything. And plus, a lot of them don't come with this rear cap, that way it covers the top of your head, especially when you're welding MIG upside down or whatever it is. All the stuff that flies up on top will tend to burn your head. Aside from that, it came with pretty much everything. It came with a carrying bag that's closed up, along with another clear face shield instead of the yellow one, but I dig more of the yellow. It's just the way I like to use it. And then it came with the adapter that you put on so that you can strap it to the back of your head. And then it also comes with extra padding and also extra lenses on the bottom for the darkening. But yeah, this is what I was waiting for, so that way I can at least start practicing. There's one more item that I am waiting for before we actually start welding up the aluminum and everything. So I'll go ahead and just tell you guys now what I'm waiting for. So I'm waiting on my TIG gloves to arrive, because the ones that I got here are actually more for MIG, and you won't be able to feel the wire, especially trying to feed it. It's a little bit harder to feel. So aside from that, I'm also waiting for a tungsten grinder from Eastwood, and that's what I need, so that I don't have to keep using the grinder to sharpen the tungstens on the torches. It's you can do it that way, but again, you want the lines to be crossed straight, so that way they're not crooked and you don't get the arc wrong, or it doesn't just start going all over the place. So I'm not exactly sure what else we're going to get into today. I have a little bit of stuff that I need to do. I need to take off the front end of the car, so that I can go ahead and address something, because I've had a lot of comments on it. So let me go ahead and do that, and then we'll pick back up once we start, so that I can pretty much address that situation. Alrighty, guys, so what we're going to end up doing is removing the intercooler piping and pretty much taking all that out of the way. I'm also going to end up taking the housing here off, because I'm going to see if I can order a different one so that we can get better the flow this way, because they do make another one. So this one is angled over here, and as you guys can see, it's going to be in the way of the turbo. So now that I'm addressing everything, I'm just going to address things the right way and honestly swap out the things that I'm not going to use. So I'm just going to go ahead and change that out. So let's go ahead and remove the intercooler piping. But one thing I do want to address before we take off the intercooler piping, guys, is that I've had a comment on my channel, a lot of the comment section, multiple times, saying that my intercooler is upside down. And yes, you guys are used to seeing that intercooler usually mounted the other way around, where the bottom section is actually on top facing downwards, and they usually run the intercooler piping around where the windshield reservoir goes to, bottom of the frame, to the intake manifold, and also to the turbo. Well, that's not the way I decided to run mine. These intercoolers do not have a one-way check valve, so they can only flow one way. They can flow whichever way on these ones and pretty much every other one. So this was just the reason why I decided to do mine like this, was because of the way it follows the bottom of the frame rail of the radiator support. So just so that you guys are aware of it, yes, it is technically upside down, but it doesn't air doesn't flow just one way. It still comes from the turbo, goes through the intercooler, comes back around to the intake manifold as it cools it down. So again, there's nothing for me to worry about of the way it's mounted, because it's mounted perfectly fine in the way I wanted it ran. But either way, we are going to be going and doing a lot of that all over again, because of course the intercooler piping and to get it to mount to the turbo. So let me go ahead and remove that, go ahead and remove the housing, and also we're going to go ahead and get the clutch reservoir installed, so that I can make a hard line from the reservoir to the master or the slave cylinder down here on the transmission, because we are going to be making a hard line for it instead of a stainless steel or steel braided line. I would rather have a hard line done to it, so that it just flows with the rest of the car.
What we do here is go back.
Alrighty guys, so pretty much now we ended up removing the filler neck for the block. The one we're going to be switching to, I think I already mentioned it, but again, is the same style, except this piece or this one here is going to be in the front of it instead of at a slant. So I cannot utilize that one just due to the fact the way all the piping is ran, and then if I end up running it that way, it's honestly going to hit the throttle body now, since the motor is actually on the lower setting where I put the radiator. It's just not going to work out. Plus I'm honestly just switching it over to regular fittings or regular hoses now instead of the AN, because in all honesty, if we ever have an issue driving this car on the road going farther away, I don't want to have that issue where I'm gonna get stuck and I won't be able to have an extra AN line. So let's go ahead and continue. I think what I'm gonna end up doing right now is actually trying to start mocking up the way we're gonna route things here and get the bottom one mounted so we can get that one all the way towards the back to the turbo and see which way we're going to clock it, and then pretty much get that one done. It's just going to be taped up. It's not going to be fully welded up. We'll do that later on at the end, but for now let's go ahead and start on the bottom one and try to figure out the transition going to that one up there. Alrighty guys, welcome back. So pretty much, I know I left off yesterday, trying to work on the intercooler setup. So I was trying to get everything pretty much lined up, and I got a little bit done on the bottom. Again, none of it's going to be welded in this video, so I wanted to try to get the transition of how this is going to be here. And then this is the other piece here. I can't leave it on because of the weight of it, but the way we're going for things is basically to line up just like this. So that's what I'm looking for, so that we can get it here. I can start the rest of the transition going to the turbo itself, and then for this piece coming into the intake manifold, I'm gonna have to end up utilizing this piece here all over again, because I did some tighter welds here. So I'm going to use this section here. I'm just going to cut it here possibly from this weld on, and that way I'll go ahead and start the rest of the transition, because that's pretty much going to give me what I need to go up to the intake manifold. So that'll work out. So I'm actually going to stop right now, because there's no point of really continuing with that if I'm not welding it, because I'm still waiting for the tungsten grinder to show up and my TIG gloves to show up, because as you guys remember, I ordered the gloves and I ordered actually the wrong ones. So I can still use those, but again, I'm waiting for my tungstens and the grinder to show up. So yeah, let me go ahead and pretty much see what else we can do. Let's go ahead and jack up the car and see if these brakes are going to work with the rotors. Well guys, as you guys seen, dang, I'm extremely happy that the brake calipers cleared and that they work with the Mugen M7s, because honestly, I did not honestly want to run spacers on it. I know I thought I was going to have to run it, and the main reason why was because when I originally ran the M7s on my DA, I actually had to run a spacer on it, which is a very small spacer, which is the reason why I didn't mind it, and I thought it was going to help me out. But I'm still happy that at least now these calipers actually clear these wheels on the EK with the 36mm hub mod. So again, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and continue doing things onto the car. But one thing I really wanted to mention to you guys, I really wanted to say, it was thank you to everybody that did show love on the last couple of videos, especially when it came down to me mentioning my dog. Everybody has showed a lot of love, and my dog actually is doing a lot better. So what we're gonna go ahead and do, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys real quick. Let me just give you guys an update. You know, unfortunately, he is still on steroids. He's probably gonna have to be on that on the rest of his life, but he's not on a heavy dosage. He's on it every other day, and we actually switched him over to a raw diet. So his raw diet has made a tremendous improvement of his whole life. The way he was always used to eating kibble. Now he's even happier because he gets to eat some raw beef and pumpkin, and rice. So we're extremely grateful for everybody reaching out and just showing nothing but mad love and support. And yeah, guys, let me go to show you guys the way he looks right now. Just FYI, you know, he still isn't the best looking, but he is slowly getting there. All right, guys, the dogs are asleep, but yeah, this is the doghouse that I built. My dogs were always raised outside, and this is my big boy right here. So you guys can see, you know, his hair is starting to come back. He's getting a lot healthier. That is the grandma back there, and these dogs are always comfortable. I always try to make best of my dogs, try to make sure that they're comfortable and that they're taken care of. And these dogs mean the world to me. So yeah, as you guys can see, they have blankets, they have padding, they have everything in there. And as you guys can see, you know, this is what we were facing, guys, and he is doing a lot better. He's a lot more active, and he is just doing really great. For everybody that wonders why my dogs are outside, my dogs were always raised to be outside dogs. They were never inside dogs. We never truly wanted an inside dog. We wanted to show them that these bulldogs can actually be outside. I do put a heater out here, which I'm currently doing now because the climate control has changed already. So I put a vent there where this is the heater will go into there. I actually ordered another heater because this one actually took a crap on me. So another heater is on its way from Home Depot, so we're gonna get that installed so that way they can have a heater. And when it comes down to the heat, I actually put an AC unit onto the back of it, and with the same vent tube and everything goes straight in there, and it keeps them cool, guys. So again, these dogs can be outside dogs, and as you guys can see, he is 5 years old and doing really good compared to how he was just a couple of months ago. And he's getting his hair back. He still has his scabs, he still has his patches, but doing really good. And that's the grandma back there. But again, guys, huge shout out to everybody that did show love and mad support. I really didn't want to put my dog out there, but as you guys can see, he is doing very well now, a lot more active, and I'm just thankful that he's doing better, guys. So let's go ahead and get back onto the car. Alrighty, guys, so rear discs are changed on this side. As you guys can see, it's on there. I didn't change the brake pads. These are the old rotors that were in the back. I didn't change the rear brake lines or the rear brake pads because honestly, guys, they were still like brand new. I do have a set for the rear for the future. And we'll go ahead and swap them out when they get older or when they get used. Here is the ones that I got them from Auto Shack, and so those are for the rear. Also, front ones are fully installed, as you guys already seen. And yeah, let's go show you guys the rear without the wheel on it. But this one is fully on. It is locked and loaded, and we have the movement that we have. You know, it's free. Unfortunately, these hubs from S1 don't have the screw, so I might end up just screwing into it or see if I can drill into it and tap it, and that way I can lock it in, so that way it won't have no movement at all. But either way, it shouldn't have any movement because once the wheel is on, we're pretty much golden still. It's still going to hold all the pressure, locking it in. Well, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video. I know there wasn't really much done to the car, but at least we were able to do something. I was actually able to explain the intercooler system, that how it doesn't need to be flipped upside down in order for it to work properly. And I also ended up getting the brake situation taken care of, at least you could say 90%. So I just got the brake lines to do, those other little small brake lines, and after that we're golden. But again, huge shout out to everybody that has showed nothing but mad love and support in regards to my dog Dozer. As you guys can see, you know, he's still not 100%, but he has made a tremendous improvement within the last, you know, 2 to 3 weeks that we've had him on this raw diet. And I honestly got to say, this raw diet has helped him out extremely. Compared to being on kibble, he's always been on that kibble all his life, and maybe it was just something that really messed up his whole immune system. So we're thankful that we were able to find this solution. Unfortunately, he's still on steroids, but it's just something we're just gonna have to monitor and keep a close eye on, you know what I mean? And honestly, it just goes to show, guys, you know what, I've heard a lot of things. People have told me, you know, that these dogs shouldn't be outside dogs. My dogs have always been outside dogs, and that's just something I just wanted to communicate with you and show that, you know what, I would never do anything to jeopardize my dog's health or living situation. I try to accommodate to them, put in AC, put in heaters, and I've always done that ever since they were puppies. And you're talking about since they were 6 months old, they've been outside. 7 months old, ever since they got their shots to be outside. But pretty much, guys, that is going to wrap it up for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I know I talked a lot, but I promise hopefully on these next couple of videos we're actually able to make a lot more progress, because again, it's just a waiting game for all these parts. But with that being said, guys, please like, subscribe, and show your boy some love, and we'll catch you guys on the next one. Till next time.